I want to talk about the little, because the little is where the test actually is. And I have not always passed the little test with the grade that the much requires. I've been impatient with the little more times than I want to count. I've treated the little like it was beneath the attention that the much would deserve. I've cut corners on the small things, telling myself I was saving my best for the big things that were coming, which is the specific lie that explains why the big things keep not arriving. Because Luke 16:10 says, whoever is faithful in very little is also faithful in much. And the inverse is also implied. Whoever is unfaithful in the very little is also unfaithful in the much. Which means the much is not given to the man who complained about the little. It's given to the man who treated the little like it was the much. And I've been the complaining man more often than the faithful man in the little seasons. And I wanna change that, starting with the little that's in front of me today.
He noticed the 2 coins.
That's the whole testimony.
He noticed the 2 coins.
When the room was full of more.
He noticed the faithfulness
in the smallest offering from the person with the least to offer.
He noticed the 2 coins.
And I wanna be the person whose 2 coins get noticed because they were given with everything.
Notice the 2 coins.
Faithful with little looks like the email that gets the same quality whether or not anyone important is reading it. Faithful with little looks like the conversation with the person who has no platform and no ability to advance anything for me. Getting the same presence as the conversation with someone who does. Faithful with little looks like the Tuesday when the audience is small and the effort is full. Not because the audience size changed the quality the work required, because the work deserves a full effort regardless. And I've been building this practice one Tuesday at a time, and I'm not gonna tell you I mastered it, because the little keeps testing me in new ways every week.
He noticed the 2 coins.
Faithfulness in the small and notice.
He noticed the 2 coins.
That's the stand I'm after. Full effort in the little that nobody's watching.
He noticed the 2 coins.
He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much. And I wanna build a faithful and least version of myself. Not because the much is the goal, because the faithful and least is the person I wanna be. Regardless of whether the much arrives. Because the faithful and least treats every task as worthy of the full effort. Which means my entire life gets elevated by the practice of faithfulness in the parts nobody's observing. And that elevation has nothing to do with whether the much arrives. It's the quality of a life that takes the little seriously enough to do it with everything. So I did the little thing this morning, but the full effort it deserved. Whether or not anyone noticed, which is the point. Whether or not anyone notices is not the variable. Your faithfulness is the variable. And today, I was faithful in the little.
And that is enough. He noticed the 2 coins. Take the remedy. He noticed.
Still practicing.
Little, forever.
He noticed the 2 coins.
He noticed.
Still faithful. Still here.
He noticed.
And notice.
He noticed.
I want to read you the verdict of Isaiah 54:17, not as comfort, as a legal ruling, from the highest court with jurisdiction over every weapon that has been formed against you. The verse does not say no weapons will be formed. I wanna be precise about that, because imprecision about this verse produces the wrong expectation. The weapons form, the opposition is real, the attempts are documented. The strategies against you are actual strategies formed by actual opposition in actual time. And some of them are sophisticated, and some of them have been working against other people with significant effect. The verse says, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Prosper, not form. The forming happens, the prospering doesn't. And I wanna sit with what it means for a weapon to be formed against you and fail. Not because you're stronger, because of the jurisdiction you're operating under, and the one who issued the ruling
Formed against me, fail.
That's the verdict. Isaiah 54:17.
Formed against me, fail.
Every weapon, none prosper. They come, they form,
they fail.
not because of my defense, because of the covenant that covers my position.
Formed against me, fail.
No weapon formed against you shall prosper. That's not a wish, that's a ruling.
Formed against me, fail.
The weapon of accusation that was formed to define me by what I used to be failed, because the covenant covers the man I am now, and the judge doesn't recognize the old address. The weapon of discouragement that was formed to convince me the progress wasn't real failed, because the evidence of what has been built is too specific to be argued away by the strategy of making it feel like nothing. The weapon of timing that was formed to delay past the window of what was possible failed, because God's timeline doesn't operate on the schedule the opposition set for the weapon's effect. And I wanna be careful not to minimize the reality of the weapons of the experience of standing in their path. They are real, and the standing costs something. But the verdict is not in question, and the verdict is the thing. I speak into the experience while I'm standing in it.
Formed against me, fail.
Isaiah 54:17, the ruling stands.
Formed against me,
They come, they form, they fail.
not my strength. The covenant, not my defense, the jurisdiction. Formed against me, fail.
No weapon
Formed against you
shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17 and 4 reads, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is from me. Their righteousness is from me, which means the standing is not on the merit of the person standing. It's on the righteousness that was credited by the one who issued the ruling. And the ruling stands on his righteousness, not the defendant's, which means the ruling is not vulnerable to the history of the defendant. It's only vulnerable to the authority of the judge. And the judge has already ruled. I stood in the path of something this week that was formed against what I'm building, and I read the ruling out loud into the specific situation, and watched the specific weapon run into the specific verdict and fail specifically. Not because I'm strong enough, because the ruling is
formed against me,
fail. No weapon shall prosper.
formed against me, fail.
The ruling stands, the covenant holds.
Formed against me, fail.
Every tongue
Condemned.
formed against me fail.
Formed against me, fail.
Isaiah 54:17. The ruling stands,
No weapon, no weapon
no weapon
formed against me.
failed. I lost. Not to get a number to understand what restoration would have to produce to make the accounting whole. And I want to tell you what the math revealed about what Joel 2:25 actually promises. There are years I cannot get back in the conventional sense. They occurred in a particular sequence and produced a particular version of me, and a particular version of the people who were in them. And those versions cannot be undone or returned or replayed. And I'm not going to pretend that restoration means those years become what they would have been without the loss, because that promise would require time travel. And Joel 2:25 doesn't promise time travel. What it promises is something harder to understand, and more specifically miraculous. It promises the yield of the years without the years themselves, the harvest of seasons that were eaten, arriving in the seasons that remain. And I've been watching that happen in specific ways that I cannot explain, by the natural mathematics of what remained after the loss was calculated. He gives back the years, not the years themselves. He gives back what they were carrying. He gives back the years, the harvest of the eaten seasons, arriving in the living ones. He gives back the years. Joel 2:25. The locust years restored, not reversed, redeemed. He gives back the years, and the giving back is more specific than the taking was. He gives back the years. I watched a relationship that should have taken 20 years to reach its current depth, reach that depth in 3, which is the math of restored time, not natural time. I've watched understanding arrive in me about things that took other men a decade to understand in a fraction of the time, which is not because I'm faster, it's because the locust years were doing something I couldn't see, while they were eating that accelerated be understanding when the restoration came. I watched doors open at the eaten years should have closed permanently based on the regular math, the time and opportunity. And the doors opening is the yield of years I couldn't use when I was in them, being returned in the years I can't. And I sit with Joel 2:25, not as a promise for the future, as a description of what is happening now in the accounting that God is running on the time I thought was gone. He gives back the years, the harvest of what was eaten, arriving in what remains. He gives back the years, not reversed, redeemed, the yield of lost seasons and living ones. He gives back the years. There is a specific grace in the restoration of time that has no category in the natural world, because natural time is linear and moves in one direction, and lost time stays lost in the natural account. The Joel 2:25 operates on a different ledger, the divine ledger where time is not just linear but redeemable, where years eaten by the locusts are not years subtracted from the total, but years held in a different kind of account that releases their yield at the proper time in the proper form for the version of you that can receive it now. And I have been receiving the yield of years I thought were subtracted, and finding them arriving, pressed down, shaking together, running over in the years I'm currently living. He gives back the years. I don't count the lost years anymore the way I used to count them in subtraction. I count them as the account that the restoration is drawing from, and the account has more in it than I calculated when I only counted the taking. He gives back the years. He gives back the years, the locust years. He gives back the years, not reversed, restored, still arriving, still restoring. He gives back the years, the yield of what was eaten, coming home, coming home, coming home. He gives back the years.
back the years.
There is something coming that changes the weight of everything else. When you hold it in the same hand as whatever you were worried about this morning. I wanna describe what the return of the king does to the present moment, when you hold it as a fact rather than a theology. The present moment with the king coming is a different present moment than the present moment without the king coming. Not because the circumstances change, because the weight of the circumstances changes against the backdrop of what is approaching. The problem now is everything this morning is still real, and is now a smaller percentage of what is real, because what is approaching is so much larger than the problem. And Revelation 22:20 says, he who testifies to these things says,
yes, I am coming soon.
And the word soon in the context of eternity is not the same word as soon in the context of a Tuesday. But the intention is clear, he is on his way. He says so himself as the last word of the last chapter of the whole story. He said soon.
He's already on his way.
That's the fact I'm standing on.
He's already on his way.
Revelation 22:20.
Coming soon. He's already on his way.
And the coming changes what matters and what doesn't in every hour between now and then.
He's already on his way.
He says so himself.
He's already on his way.
I wanna be honest about how often I live as if he's not coming, as if the present moment is the permanent state of things, rather than the penultimate chapter of a story that has a definitive ending already written. And when I catch myself living as if the present is permanent, I read Revelation 22:20, and something reorders in the priorities I was managing. Before I read it, the thing I was worried about goes in one pile. The things that matter because he's coming go in another pile. And the piles are not the same size after the reordering as they were before it. And I wanna live with both piles visible at all times, the present circumstances in one hand, the approaching king in the other, and make every decision about the present with the awareness of what's approaching.
He's already on his way.
And everything is different
When you know that
he's already on his way. Revelation 22:20.
soon.
He said so himself.
He's already on his way.
This is the whole Vol XVII in one declaration.
Thirsting for more of God,
Because he's coming,
and he is worth the thirst.
starting small and staying faithful,
Because he's coming,
and he will see what was done in the small.
faithful with the little,
Because he's coming,
and the little
will be accounted for.
receiving what time stole.
Because he's coming, and time bends in his hands, standing on the verdict that no weapon prospers. Because he's coming as the judge whose ruling nothing overturns, abiding in the vine. Because he's coming, and the fruit of the abiding will be presented to the one who planted it, speaking life.
Because he's coming,
And the words I spoke will have their accounts settled in his presence.
he's coming, he's coming,
He's coming,
he's coming.
and every song in this volume,
Every volume in this collection,
every honest word about every broken thing, and every grace that met it was said under the shadow of this approaching reality.
he's coming.
And grace wins because he wins, and he is coming. So I live differently than I would if I didn't know what was approaching. I hold the present circumstances more loosely than the approaching king, more specifically. And the looseness and the grip change everything about how Tuesday feels.
He's coming,
He said so, and I believe him, and I'm living like I believe him, which is the whole response that's required.
he's already on his way.
Coming,
He's coming,
he's coming.
he's coming.
Revelation 22:20.
He's already on his way.
Grace wins
Grace always wins.
because he wins.
He is coming, he's coming, he
I've been hungry for a long time, and I've been feeding the hunger with things that take the edge off, but don't actually satisfy it. And I'm old enough now to know the difference between taking the edge off and being fed. I fed it with accomplishment, which works briefly and requires more input to maintain the same effect. The way all insufficient solutions require escalating doses to produce diminishing returns. I fed it with the approval of people whose approval I saw specifically because they were hardest to impress. And when I impressed them, the hunger was still there, slightly quieter, for slightly less time than I expected. I fed it with busyness, which is the most sophisticated substitute, because busyness doesn't just quiet the hunger temporarily, it drowns out the awareness that the hunger is there. And I can go whole seasons in the busy without hearing it until the busy stops, and I find out nothing was resolved, just muffled. And the hunger that remains after everything else has been tried at the volume I've been running is not a small hunger. It's the original hunger, the one that was there before the substitutes began and will be there after them.
I want more of you than this.
That's what the hunger is.
I want more of you than this.
Not the comfortable version, not the managed relationship, not the version that fits inside my schedule.
I want more of you than this.
Psalm 42, as the deer pants, my soul pants, and the panting is for you
specifically.
I want more of you than this. The deer doesn't pant for the ideal water, it pants for the specific physical relief of the actual thing that satisfies the specific physical need that the panting describes. And spiritual thirst is not an abstraction, it's the specific discomfort of a soul that was designed for a particular depth of connection and has been operating at a shallower level than it was built for, long enough to notice the distance between what it's receiving and what it was made for. And the noticing is the beginning, not the embarrassment, because Psalm 84:2 says my soul yearns, even faints, for the courts of the Lord. And fainting is not a moderate response, fainting is the extreme end of the insufficiency of substitutes. And I wanna be honest enough to faint toward the right thing.
I want more of you than this.
As the deer pants, my soul pants.
I want more of you.
Not the managed version, the full version, the depth I was built for.
I want more of you than this.
I'm not gonna tell you that I have arrived at the full depth of the connection I was built for. I am in the pursuit of it, which is the honest position of a man who has named what he's hungry for and is moving toward it. But I want to name it out loud, because naming it changes the direction of the movement.
I was hungry for approval.
I'm hungry for God.
I was hungry for accomplishment.
I'm hungry for God.
I was hungry for the thing
that would finally satisfy the specific hunger that nothing else reached.
And the specific hunger
that nothing else reached has a specific name, and the name is the only answer to the hunger that is left after everything else has been tried. So I'm moving toward the water with the specific urgency of a man who has finally named what he's actually thirsty for. And the panting is the direction,
and the direction is toward
more of you,
more of you.
as the deer pants,
More of you.
I want more of you than this.
Panting toward the water.
More of you.
More of you.
The hunger is the direction.
More of you.
I always know When I've been off the vine for too long, the fruit tells me before I notice the root. The patience runs out faster, the words come out sharper, the mornings feel heavier, and I do the inventory and find a connection that's been loosening while I wasn't watching. The disconnection is never dramatic, it doesn't announce itself. It's a gradual loosening that starts when I substitute the activity of faith for the relationship of it. I substitute the doing for the abiding, and the doing looks like connection from the outside and produces a reasonable imitation for a while, until the fruit tells the truth about the root.
And the fruit
that the doing produces without the abiding is the effort virgin strain grown rather than vine grown. And I know the difference in how it sits on my chest and how it's received by the people who eat it. John 15:5 says, apart from me, you can do nothing. And I used to read that as spiritual hyperbole until I tasted enough of the nothing that the doing without abiding produces, to understand it's not hyperbole.
I keep coming back to the vine.
That's the testimony.
I keep coming back to the vine.
When the fruit tells the truth about the root.
I keep coming back to the vine.
Not because I'm disciplined enough to stay connected continuously, but because the disconnection tastes bad enough that I recognize it and choose differently.
I keep coming back to the vine.
Still coming back, still learning to stay. Abiding looks like something slower than the church schedule usually allows for. It looks like the morning when nothing is produced, but the presence is inhabited, and I resist the guilt of the unproductive morning long enough to receive what the presence was trying to give me for the next 6 productive ones. It looks like the conversation I had with God before I had a conversation with anyone else about anything that matters, so that what I carry into the conversation is vine grown rather than effort grown. And it looks like coming back when I've been off without the extended penance that the off period doesn't require. Just the return, the quiet return to the place that produces the fruit I was designed for. And the returning is the discipline, not the perfect continuous connection. The returning every time the fruit tells the truth about the root. The returning is the whole practice.
I keep coming back to the vine.
When the fruit tells the truth, still learning to abide.
I keep coming back to the vine.
Not perfectly cyclically, but back. Always back to the place that the fancy what I was made to bear.
I keep coming back to the vine.
If you were meant to me and I ain't you, you will bear much fruit. The much fruit is not the achievement of the person who stay connected. It's the natural byproduct of the stain. The vine doesn't strain to produce the fruit. The branch doesn't effort the fruit into existence. It bears because it's connected, and the bearing is what connection naturally produces. And the strain I feel when I'm off the vine is the diagnostic that sends me back, not the shame or the strain. The information of strain of me is the root is loop. Come back, come back, come back. I came back this morning, quieter than usual, without the agenda of producing something. From the presence was present in the presence, until the presence was enough, and the presence was enough, and the fruit, it came later in the day. From the abiding morning was different, and the effort gone version, and I know the difference by how it's set in my chest.
Back to the vine.
Still learning to abide.
Back to the vine.
Fruit tells the truth.
Back to the vine.
Apart from you, nothing connected to you, everything.
I keep coming back to the vine.
Still coming back, still bearing fruit.
Back to the vine.
I wanna make a case for the small beginning, not as a consolation prize. For the large one you wanted, is the specific and irreplaceable path to the large one that's coming. I started smaller than I wanted to start, which is how most things start, that eventually become something worth describing. The starting point was not impressive to anyone observing it, including me. And I wanna be honest that the smallness was uncomfortable, not because I was ungrateful, because I could see what I was building toward. And the distance between the small beginning and the vision was significant enough to make the small beginning feel like the wrong beginning for a long time. And Zechariah 4:10 says, who dares despise the day of small things? And the question is pointed because the answer is everybody, including the person in the small beginning, who can see the vision and cannot yet see the path from here to there.
Small is where God starts.
That's not an apology. Small is where God starts. He started a nation with one man. He fed thousands with one lunch. He built the church with 12.
Small is where God starts.
And the small beginning is not the inferior version of what's coming. It's the only path to it.
Small is where God starts.
Don't despise it.
Don't despise it.
The small beginning produces specific things that the larger rival cannot produce. In a person who skipped the small, it produces the knowledge of what the thing actually requires at ground level before the scale adds complexity. It produces the humility of having done the work without an audience, which is a different humility than the performed kind that comes with a platform. It produces the rootedness of something that grew slowly enough to have deep roots, rather than a shallow rootedness of something that grew quickly in favorable conditions and tips in the first real wind. And the large arrival that skipped the small beginning is the thing that tips in the wind. And the large arrival that came through the small beginning is the thing that the wind has already tested.
Small is where God starts.
Not the inferior version, the only path.
Small is where God starts.
The small thing faithfully, the large thing is already in the small one. The way the harvest is already in the seed. Small is where God starts. Don't despise it. I think about the Grace Winds channel in its earliest season, and the small number of people who were listening before the numbers reflected what was being built. And I think about every creator, every builder, every person who started with something small that looked nothing like the vision and kept going in the smallness without despising it. And I want to tell them from a further along place, the small is the qualifying work. The small is where you find out whether the vision is something you'll build or something you'll quit when it stays small longer than you expected. Stay in the small.
The small is where God
starts. My small beginning is still in the process of becoming what it was always building toward. And I still have mornings where the distance between the current size and the vision is uncomfortable. And I say Zechariah 4:10 to myself in those mornings. Who dares despise the day of small things? And I dare not, so I show up, do the small thing, and do it faithfully and trust that small is exactly where God starts.
Small
is where God starts.
Still building,
still faithful.
Small
is where God starts. Don't despise.
The large is in the small.
The harvest is in the seed.
Small is where God starts.
Still here, still building. Small is where God starts.
Small is where God starts.
I want to talk about the most powerful thing I carry, that I've been the most careless with for the longest time. It's not money, it's not influence. It's the thing I use about 16,000 times a day on average, most of them without thinking. Yeah. Proverbs 18:21 says, the tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. And I wanna sit with the math of 16,000 words a day, times the power of life and death per word, times the years I've been speaking without understanding the accumulated weight of the fruit I've been producing with my mouth without considering whether I was choosing life or death with each deployment.
And I can think of specific words that were spoken over me
in specific moments by specific people that I am still living on.
20 years later, in specific words
that were spoken over me that I am still working to undo, which tells me everything I need to know about the power and the responsibility of the tool I'm carrying.
Words are the weapons I choose,
and I'm choosing life.
Words are the weapons I choose.
Proverbs 18:21, tongue has the power of life and death.
I'm choosing life
in every room I enter, over every person I address.
Words are the weapons I choose,
and I'm choosing life deliberately every time. Speaking life looks like the specific word to the specific person in the specific moment that names something in them they hadn't named yet. That is true and good and rise as a revelation. I watched a single sentence change the trajectory of a person's afternoon, and probably more that I didn't get to see, because the sentence traveled further than I was present for. Speaking life looks like the encouragement that cost me nothing to give, but the receiver has been running on empty and receives it like water in a desert, which is the most asymmetric transaction available. Zero cost, maximum return for the recipient, and that is imagery should make me relentless about deploying it. Speaking life also looks like
not speaking death,
not the negative word about the absent person,
not the discouragement
dressed as realism,
not the limitation
spoken over someone before they've attempted it. The tongue that is choosing life is also choosing not to deploy the death side of the power it carries.
Words are the weapons I choose,
and I'm choosing life over every person I address. Proverbs 18:21, the power is real, I'm choosing life.
Every room, every conversation, words are the weapons I choose,
choosing life. I think about the people who spoke life over me at the moments when I most needed it and couldn't produce it for myself. The man who said, you are not what happened to you at the exact moment I was becoming what happened to me. And that sentence did something to the trajectory I was on. The woman who said, I see something in you that you don't see yet, and I believe her, not because I had evidence, but because she spoke it with the authority of someone who meant it, and words spoken with authority over an empty vessel get in and they stay. I wanna be that person in someone else's story, the sentence they're still living on 20 years from now. So I choose it today, in every conversation I enter, with the awareness that I am carrying the power of life and death in every sense I deploy. And I want the fruit of the 16,000 to be life today.